What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and let's talk some football. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for waking up with TBM Sports as we dive into the Saturday, November 23rd college football games that we have within Week 13 in the college football ranks. We have a couple marquee games. Unfortunately, these games are at noon, so hopefully you guys are up early watching this video, and that way you can make the best bet possible. All right, so let's get down into it. I'm going to share with you guys my plays. I have three best bets. I love this card, but there's too much to love, but I'm going to stick to these three plays, and throughout this video, I'm going to give you guys a lot of leans and nuggets that hopefully you guys can take with you into this betting slate, okay? So let's get into it. If you guys are new to the channel, this is a perfect time to subscribe right down below, smash that like button, and please feel free to leave me a comment and hop on over to the Discord where we will be chopping it up, talking live bets and sports. Show me what you got. I want to see your tickets, all right? So we'll be over there all day today, and it's going to be one where pretty much from 12 until 12, we'll be watching football. That's kind of how Saturdays work around here. We'll have hockey on, as well as the likes of the NBA games that we have tipping off. So it's going to be an exciting, action-packed Saturday. Strap in, buckle up, and let's get down into the picks. Okay, we are going to use Outlier to go through these games. That's my favorite betting platform out there right now. If you aren't using Outlier, you are playing at a disadvantage. Links down below for a 7-day free trial. Make the best bet possible. And with the money that I saved last night, I probably saved about $600 in terms of juice when I was making some bets and some live in-game hedges off of big parlays. And that's kind of where you really can lock in more profits and have a better chance of bringing in the green on the weekend. If you use Outlier, you just got to trust me on that one. It pays for itself. It is a sponsor of mine, mind that. So nothing crazy, but it is a 7-day free trial. That's the best I can offer you. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to share with you guys my best bets, and the first game we're going to talk about is North Carolina and Boston College. This one is one where there's a lot of sharp action on the Tar Heels in this spot. We're supposed to get some weather. It's going to be a muck-it-up game. I feel like with Mac Brown exiting within the likes of this unbelievable coaching career, I should say, not season, but the Tar Heels 6-4 traveling into the Boston College Alumni Stadium, where we do talk about kind of this outcome and how the weather and who's going to suit up for Boston College for BC. For me, guys, I think this is a lean towards UNC. I'm digging the 2.5 on the road, but I wouldn't go any bit crazier than that. I think this is potentially a field goal game. It's going to be close down to the wire. I am not betting this game for one reason. I don't bet against the likes of Boston College. Okay, love them, hate them. It doesn't really matter. They have been one of those teams that has unfortunately kind of ruined a lot of tickets. They have played spoiler this season. Okay, and that's pretty much evident as we look at the BC Eagles coming in at 6-4 ATS. So that's kind of where I'm at. The biggest thing is Castellanos has been benched for Boston College, so a little bit of turmoil there. So I do think that with bad weather, it does favor the Tar Heels. I like the under as well. You can see where the handle is set up pretty nicely there. 69% of the handle converts to 31% of the bets on the under. Okay, so under 52.5, it'd probably be my better bet. This number has dropped from 54.5 in a strong lean towards the Tar Heels, but no official play. Okay, this will be an official play. The 9-1 Mustangs, right? We're taking SMU. If you watched that game last week against Pittsburgh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are looking at this as a bounce back spot. And you're going to say, Mark, how are we going to bounce back? We're 9-1 on the season. We look at this game 5-4 ATS going against the Cavaliers 500 team, but the Cavaliers are a very good cover team, 6-2 ATS. Okay. Now, in this game, I do suspect we get a lot of points. The betting market is agreeing with me as well. 57% of the bets are on the under. However, we do get 77% of the handle on the over, okay? So I do like the over in this spot, total set at 55. And if you do like the over, there's no reason not to like SMU, okay? So I think that when we saw SMU kind of, they beat Boston College 38-28, like I said, playing spoiler. That's the BC Eagles. But when we look at this game, guys, I do think SMU has to make a very strong case for that 12-team postseason consideration. This is a game you can't take a backseat. You can't lay an egg. I think they go on the road on a more business-like mentality after getting kind of that check check me game the week prior against BC. So I think SMU takes care of business. One of my favorite bets today on the day is going to be taking SMU minus 9.5 as my best bet, and a shade of a lean towards the under. Okay, and I'm going to save the best for last, so make sure you stick around to the end of this video where we will have an official play with the Indiana-Ohio State Buckeyes game. For me, guys, this is one where it's going to come down to a lot of variables. I am going to bet this one kind of like I don't want to say the word out loud on air, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm not scared to take both. I'm not scared to take either side. I just have a little bit of inclination where I can make the argument for both teams, and I'm going to do a dedicated video to this game kicking off at noon, where if you really want to bet the Indiana-Ohio State game, make sure you watch that and check it out, because we're going to go into a lot of details and a lot of numbers, but I'll just tell you guys and tease it in this video. I am going to be on the under 53, kind of going out on an island on that one. The betting market is leaning towards the over. People are expecting points. I just think there's a lot of things going on right now that I think that we do get more of a phone booth kind of game, if you will. Okay, but we'll talk about the side and some of the player metrics and all that stuff in that dedicated video that I'm going to be launching for the Buckeyes-Hoosiers game. Okay, and then we're going to get into some more leans here down the board, and these are games that just stand out to me where we could make an argument to make a play, but like I said, there are games later on that I like. Then there's a lot of games not on my even on my radar that didn't even make the board to get looked at. Okay, so after going through some of the numbers, though, it's important to understand that college football, I don't normally tease. I do a lottery ticket every week where I will take some alternate lines, put them together, little boost splash on FanDuel. That's just kind of a strategy that I deploy. You guys do what you want. I'll never tell you what to bet, but that's something that's the only reason that I do like a lot of games today, is because there are a lot of alternate lines that we can mingle together that will come out in the right direction. Okay, let's get into that next game that we will have another play in. This will be the Colorado and the Kansas Jayhawks game. Okay, Kansas coming off a fresh win against BYU. We were all over that on the money line, and then now we do get the Jayhawks at home, and Jalen Daniels. This was the Kansas Jayhawks team that we expected to see to start off the season. Now 4-6 on the year, taking on a Colorado Buffaloes team that has essentially solidified themselves as the, I don't want to say darling, because I think they've played villain to a lot of people's betting slips. Okay, 8-0 in a row ATS. So a lot of people are going to be betting against Colorado. I don't really get that whole Dion narrative. I understand you either love them or hate them, but you have to separate that from what's on the paper. Okay, if you do want to be a successful bettor, you have to leave the emotions at home. And the odds-on money is on Colorado once more against Kansas. However, I see a lot of points. This Jayhawks offense has seen an outstanding resurgence. The Jayhawks are going to be ready to play. Colorado is going to come to play. I think we're going to get a huge number here, okay? And the interesting thing about this game is, and we want to talk numbers, well, Kansas has a potential to light up that scoreboard, like I said. Colorado, though, fresh off putting up 49 on Utah, hanging that 50 burger, as well as kind of we saw what happened in that Texas Tech kind of score, 41-27, getting that total to 68. That's more so a data point that I do trend with, okay, for this game. A lot of their opponents, they sniff 60 points. They don't get there, but I do think that we fly over the total here. I think this is a potential for even overtime as well. We look at kind of what Colorado's doing offensively. They have really done a great job late in games, in playing kind of, I guess you'd say that comeback narrative. But the big thing for me is I just want to see how many yards and how they can do offensively, because a lot of people would make the argument that Colorado is luckier than good, and I kind of agree with that. I do have the opposite side in play. I am going to lean towards taking Kansas on the +3 here in this game. That's almost going to be a game time decision for me as we approach that 3:30 kickoff. Okay. And this is kind of where you look at kind of the schedule for Colorado and what comes into play. This is something where I think that Kansas may be ready to go, and I think they may be more motivated for this game, okay? The handle kind of scares me a little bit, but this is where I look at this game, and I am going to be on the over as well as kind of Kansas in a lean. but the over 59.5 is my favorite play, just because I think a lot of people are looking at this game and they don't quite frankly understand and appreciate Kansas's offense. And I think this is one where, yes, previous matchups this season have kind of indicated that this may be a lower scoring contest, but I'm going to go not so fast. I'm going to follow the money. I'm taking the over 59.5. Okay. Next game that we're going to get into, and this is one where we're going to look into the likes of Kentucky and Texas. This is a lean for me with Kentucky, plus 21. Give me 3 touchdowns with Mark Stoops there on the road. I quite frankly, when you look at the Texas game, I don't know. Who have they beaten? That's kind of the narrative I'm going down right now. I think they have kind of that whole quarterback system at play where it's kind of getting in their way, I think, in terms of chemistry. But I think this is a very sharp move towards Kentucky. If you can give me 21 points with Kentucky and I lose this bet, fantastic. I just think this is one where you got to go with the kind of points here. This is going to be one of my favorite plays of the day, where we take Kentucky on the road, plus 21. I'm just calling bullshit on Texas, okay? And you guys may watch my video and then come back tomorrow and say, ha, told you so. But for me, guys, not so fast. I'm not saying Kentucky's a better team. I'm just saying give me 3 touchdowns with Mark Stoops, and I'll take that all day, and twice on Saturday, which I can only bet this once, but if you guys bet it for me, we'll call it a wash, okay? But anyways, we'll get down the board a little bit further. There are a couple other games that people, in talking to, there are some games that I've seen some movement on, and this is one where we talk about Louisville, Pittsburgh. Louisville would be the side that I favor. Pittsburgh's kind of in disarray. I'm not going to lay 7.5 over that touchdown number with Louisville. This is one where I do see a lot of points as well, but I would lean towards the Cardinals at home in this spot. Okay. Next, we have to talk about a couple of the later games, and this is Baylor and Houston. Another fine dance partner if you guys are going to tease anything out there. Okay, when we talk about Baylor, this is another strong lean for me. I like Baylor. I think they're a very underrated team at 6-4, and I think Houston is stocked down. Okay, I do first expect to get a lot of points in this game. Houston, albeit defensively, have done a little bit better from the numbers, but Baylor, their games have all been in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Okay, and now with the total sitting at 50.5 because of the Houston Cougars defense, I'm going to call not so fast on this one as well. So I do like Baylor, Houston going over the total, like a lot of totals today, and that's kind of where we lean towards that over 50.5. So we'll get that 51 and get on our way, but that's kind of where I'm at within this spot. Also lean towards taking Baylor. Probably one of my favorite bets if you want to go down that range. If you want to do a little same game teaser action, which is horrible to tease college football, but people still do it, and I still find ways to make money off doing it. I do like Baylor on the money line and taking the over in this spot as well. Okay, and that's kind of where we're going to get down the board because there's only 2 more that I want to talk about. We will save the best for last, but the last game that I do have kind of an official play in is going to be it's kind of not really an official play. It's just what I want to talk about within Vanderbilt and LSU. Okay, now let's talk about this a little bit because LSU by the numbers is seemingly, are they dead? Okay, is this Brian Kelly's kind of last game, if you will? Is this kind of something where we look into this narrative where they're ready to cut ties? I don't know, but I will tell you one thing. Vanderbilt has played the role of spoiler in this season, okay? And this is something where you look at kind of how they played against, beating Auburn, okay? Almost beating Texas, taking it to the likes of Alabama. And that was something where we saw this. And this isn't just like one game on, one game off, okay? Missouri at the time was ranked. This has kind of been their mindset and their MO throughout the season. Last week against South Carolina, that was pretty much the only time that we did see kind of a hiccup, if you will, okay? And that's kind of weird because let me... so that's kind of where I'm at. 28-7, South Carolina took care of business against Vanderbilt, okay? This is one of those weird spots where I got to tell you guys, I hate saying it because I took LSU against Alabama and I lost pretty soundly, but there's a lot to like about LSU at home against Vanderbilt, and this is going to be an interesting game. It's a no bet for me. I don't think we get a lot of points, though. I got to be honest with you guys. And if I had to give a stronger play for this game, I got to agree with the money. We're going under 54. LSU under 54 against Vanderbilt. That's probably one of my better bets of the day as well. And one thing about this bet that I do want to tell you guys is, for those of you that do not know, Clark Leah, or Lay, whatever you want to call it, was the defensive coordinator for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. Okay, so now they get a little rematch in Tiger Stadium. We'll see what happens, but under 54 is one of my best bets. I think that Vanderbilt, and this does happen within the coaching ranks, okay? They do have a lot of kind of extra motivation at times, and I think this is going to work both ways. And now Brian Kelly seemingly, in my opinion, coaching for his job. If Brian Kelly loses his game, they might fire him on the spot. But that's kind of how I feel about it. I know that there's some contract stuff, but money speaks wholeheartedly, especially with LSU losing their top recruit to Michigan, the number one recruit in the country for next year, that recent flip. So that's going to be an interesting one to follow, okay? But I will kind of share with you guys a little bit further where we're at with this one, and that's where I do take the under 54. I think it's just a sharp play. I think the money agrees with me, and that's where we're going to be at for LSU and Vanderbilt. Eventually, I think LSU does break out, but I think that we get this one kind of in between the numbers, and I think we get a lower scoring affair where if I'm going to give you guys a final score, I think this one stays below 50 points, and it's going to be one, I think, a little bit closer to the vest, okay? 51 was the total when Vanderbilt played Texas, okay? And LSU's offense kind of struggles a little bit more so. The only thing that worries me is the fact that Vanderbilt's going on the road. When we go on the road, though, they were able to play in Auburn, losing 17-7, so I think this is one where, unless Brian Kelly knows the secret recipe to stopping Clark, to penetrating Clark Leah's defense, then I think this is a surefire play to the under at 54, and that's what we're going to bet, okay? I do want to talk about the last game that we're going to get into. I do have a small play. I'm leaning towards taking Colorado State. I did cash that bet out. I made it earlier in the week. I want to just tell you guys because Fresno State has taken some movement, so I don't trust it enough. Somebody knows something more than I do, so I did cash that one out, just letting you guys know if you are on the Colorado State Rams side, that's where I'm going to be at. But the last game I do want to mention and talk about, okay, and this is going to be a big one, right? Here comes Army taking on Notre Dame, 9-0, 9-1, Yankee Stadium. The jerseys for Notre Dame are completely, little Gotham throwback. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Love the jerseys. Love when they do this, and this might be one where if we win some bets today, I might end up buying one for myself. But we'll talk about this because I think that I do think there's going to be sharps on both sides of this game. I'm staying away from it, okay? If you had to make a Notre Dame fan bet this game, well, I'm going to take Notre Dame. I everything about this game, but I will not lay it. I will not lay 2 touchdowns against a service academy. I wanted to against Navy, and I think we get all the same here. But for me, guys, this is the biggest story we have going for us with this Notre Dame Army game is, I believe, I'm not sure on this, but this might be the only time, okay, that Army, there's some weird kind of, this rivalry series, whatever, has gone on for decades, okay? But there was something I heard on ESPN a little bit earlier in the week, and it's jogging my mind right now. But anyways, I digress. This is something where I just think Notre Dame, they did well against the triple, the wing T or whatever you call it, against Navy. It was pretty much suffocated, okay? Now they face the same with Army. Army does pass the ball a little bit more so, and their quarterback is a little bit more dynamic for my standards, okay? But I do think that when we look at what Army is able to do, I'm just going with the fact they haven't beat anybody yet, right? North Texas is probably their best win. You could talk about kind of what they were able to do against Tulsa, 49-7, but I just don't see anything on their schedule that warrants a 19th top 25 ranking, okay, other than just the fact that it's different than what we're used to, okay? So I do think that there is a good chance that Notre Dame gets absolutely in a groove here, and they just kind of further dot that I, because I'll tell you guys for my money, and this is a homer Notre Dame fan that bets objectively, okay? This is just something where I'm the Notre Dame fan that kind of treats it like, never going to win national championship. I'm more of a pessimist when we just have loose fan conversations. But I will tell you guys something real quick about futures betting right now. 2 teams in the market in this 12-team format that I do not want to play. I do not want to play Notre Dame, and I do not want to play Ole Miss. Okay, I think that Notre Dame has grown immensely, and I think the best thing for them was that loss against Northern Illinois. Okay, they've rallied back, and you look at kind of where they've been at. Okay, in their last 8 games. Okay, they're basically scoring 30 or more points. That's unbelievable. 5-0 ATS against ranked teams. That's another kind of nugget, if you will. And we are seeing some steam come in on the Irish here, moving this market a little bit towards the number of 15.5. The only thing that really scares me here, and it's kind of a weird way to bet this game, but if you wanted to kind of have some action on both ways, I would entertain taking Notre Dame minus the points, but also having a little bit of a sprinkle on the money line with Army. 5-1 odds for Army just to pull the upset. That's not too crazy. Okay. They're not playing at home. This is a neutral site. It's an unfamiliar turf. Shit happens. It would not shock me one bit. However, I do think that Notre Dame gets it done, takes care of business. I know people like Army too, and a lot of people have Army as one of their best bets of the week. But for me, guys, it's a strong lean towards the Irish. It's simple as that. So I'm using the same philosophy I did against against Navy, and it does apply. Okay, so that's what we got. Make sure you guys all like, comment, and subscribe. I will pull up the odds board, my final plays here, and hopefully you guys got a chance to watch this video. And please leave your comments and your picks down below in the box. Okay, but this is where we're at. These are my final plays. SMU under 53 with the Buckeyes, and Kansas over 59.5. And then I do have kind of 3 other leans that I want to tell you guys. Kentucky laying getting 3 touchdowns. Baylor 50.5 over, and the LSU under 54. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at. Let me know your thoughts, as well as making sure that you guys all hop on over to the Discord. Follow me on X. Handle is in the bottom left. I know this video kind of went a little bit longer, but we have a lot of games to get into today. So I appreciate you guys all taking some time out of your day to watch. And if you can, make sure you guys all, like I said, follow me on X. The handle is in the bottom left. Subscribe down below, and consider becoming a channel member, where we do a lot of cool stuff here, kind of behind the scenes. So that's what we have going on. Appreciate you guys. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.